Hello everyone, welcome back to Karen's English Hub. In this video, I'm going to take you through the next reading, that is Unit 3 Reading B, that is a poem Another Woman. So this is one of the society awakening poem, which is Another Woman. So in this, what we see is about a woman, like it is not just a woman who is mentioned in this poem, but it is about all the women who suffer the same kind of problems in the society, the problems from in-laws, the problem from the husband, the problems from the society. So one woman is here taken as a symbol of all the women who are actually facing this type of struggle. So the title itself here, Another Woman, suggests us that one day one woman and the other day other woman dies regularly, but nobody cares. So it is just like another day. Okay, just like we have another day, and these incidents are just like another incidents for another woman. So let us first see what this whole poem is about, and we will see some of the sad ending at the end of this poem. Let us get into this. Another woman. This morning, she bought green methi in the market, choosing the freshest branch, picking up a white radish. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet, sharp teeth, then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance. Counted her coins out carefully, tied them a small bundle into her sari at the waist. Here we are seeing a setting in the marketplace where a woman went to the market that day morning and she bought some green methi, and also she chose the freshest branch of that methi. Okay, so she, like, women are very calculative. They always prefer the healthy fresh ones for their family. They care a lot. So she picked up a white radish also along with that methi. She imagined the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet sharp taste, then put it aside. She had picked up a radish and she just imagined holding that radish, thinking that that radish would give very kind of like, the kind of crunch it would make when she bites that. And also she just imagined the sweet sharp taste that she would get by eating that. But immediately something else happened. What happened there? She then put it aside, thinking it is an extravagance. She imagined that she would eat it. She imagined that she would taste it very well. But the contradictory thing is that happening here is that she immediately put it aside without buying it. Do you know why? Because she thought it is an extravagance. Because that means, kind of another effort to make, to buy. She cannot spend much money on that. She just thought it was kind of waste of money if I buy it. Okay, so it would cost more actually, so that's why she is not interested to buy it. Let us look at the next one here. Counted her coins out carefully, tied them a small bundle into her sari at the waist. So she just looked at her coins, the money she had. She thought, okay, now I bought methi, fine, no problem. Now, if I even buy this, of course, I can imagine everything, the crunch, the taste, and all. But if I buy it, then it would be costed more. So it is an extravagance. So that's why I don't want to purchase it. So she immediately counted the coins which she has and put it aside. And also, she tied that coins carefully into the sari, kind of small, kind of bundle, and she kept it to her waist. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them, her hands strained yellow from the juice. Cut an onion fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. So she had purchased this methi from the market and she was back to her house where her mother-in-law was just waiting. And immediately as soon as she came, she had to face this mother-in-law's dark looks. Dark looks here refers to the looks which are kind of serious or doubtful looks. Okay, when somebody comes too late after going to some market and all, they are the kind of looks that people get. So this, the lady, she also got that type of looks from the mother-in-law, and she just was afraid, and she didn't even look properly at her. Immediately, she entered into the house, and she took leaves, the methi leaves, and she started to chop them. She took the onions and also started to chop them, and finally, she had cooked a fine, good curry. And here we can see she started to put the whole thing or cook the whole thing on the stove, shielding her face from the heat. What do you mean by shielding? Shielding in the sense protecting. She has to face the financial burden in the market. She has to face the dark looks from the mother-in-law. Next, when she came to the cooking room or the kitchen, there she has to even face the heat that comes out. She has to protect herself from all these different struggles. So even there, she doesn't have any peace. She doesn't have any kind of comfort to work there. She had to shield her face from the heat. The usual words came and bet their wings against her. The money spent, curses heaped upon her parents, who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. So immediately, these are the words from the mother-in-law. This is very important paragraph here. Okay, so from here to here, this is. So here, these are the sentences or the words from the mother-in-law. Okay, immediately this is her usual experience whenever she goes out to buy anything kind of methi or vegetables. As soon as she comes back, she used to face this type of dark looks, and also sometime after some time, she would face these regular words from the mother-in-law. So here you can see that the usual words came and bet their wings against her. That means she started to get all that scolding from the mother-in-law. What were the words? The money spent, curses heaped upon her parents, who had sent her out to darken other people's doors. So the scoldings were kind of scoldings which were about the money that is spent by this lady to buy that methi. So the mother-in-law would say, whose money is this? You are unnecessarily spending all the money. That is the reason she did not purchase radish also. Okay, as you can see, she wanted to purchase it. She couldn't, because after coming back again, she would get this type of scoldings. Now, you can also see the curses heaped upon her parents. So not only scolding her, but the mother-in-law also started scolding, her parents, the lady, the woman's parents. Okay, they didn't do anything wrong, but they were scolded because they actually sent her to their house, to this mother-in-law's house, as she is sister-in-law, daughter-in-law there. So the mother-in-law is, quite a kind of abusive person who usually scolds her parents for sending her into their house by making their house dark here in the sense, not literally kind of black or dark. It is simply kind of the word which is used for the people who do not have proper financial or stable, well, good families. Okay, there is no proper way of living. So the mother-in-law is trying to blame this lady for their problem. Okay, they actually do not have financial balance, but since she was buying this methi and all these small vegetables, she was cursed by saying, you are the reason for our this type of decline in our family. And okay, now, yeah, look at the next one. She crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, she did not look into his face nor raised her head, but bent her back a little more. This is another important one. You should be, reading it very carefully. Here, you look at the power of the words, the usage of the words. She crouched, crouched in a sense, just like, bending completely in a manner of respect. In the olden days, the women were not that free to just look upside or to uncover their face, to come out and all. No, they were not that free. As soon as this husband came home, she immediately started to bend her head too much and also bend her back too much. And here you can see she didn't even utter a single word, though the mother-in-law was scolding her like anything. Okay, so here you can see she just crouched as usual on the floor. As usual in the sense, whenever there is scolding, she has no right to talk back. If she talks back, then immediately it would be kind of, kind of world war. This thing had usually happens if, the daughter-in-law raises voice against mother-in-law, then that is kind of world's biggest mistake. So this lady here did not even say a single word. She just crouched herself, sat silently beside the stove, and she started cooking. And meanwhile, the man comes in, the husband, and here we can see the husband name. Keep forget about the name, but the word husband also is not mentioned here. It is just mentioned as a man. It shows the type of relationship that they actually have, both husband and wife here. So when he came, she didn't look, into his face, nor raise her head. She didn't look. She didn't even raise her head. You can see how women were kept under the control of the husbands and also the mother-in-laws, how they were treated in the olden days. But bent her back a little more. She also bent her back a little more in a manner of respect. Okay. So nothing gave her the right to speak. See here, this is one of the important lines that verses that we can see that from this poem. Nothing gave her the right to speak. See, she doesn't have freedom to spend money. Just, not the unwanted things, but they're just wanted things. The regular, kind of grocery vegetables. She doesn't have right to eat what she likes. She doesn't have right to speak against the mother-in-law. She doesn't have right even to look at the face of the husband. She has nothing to say. She has nothing to do. All that she has is to be silent. So since she has nothing to do, since she doesn't have any right to speak, she was just quiet as usual. Okay, next. She watched the flame hiss up and bet against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. So here we can see, there was immediately some fire, and she started to, try to run here and there. She was just, kicking herself towards the walls, towards the vessels, and the flames were hissing up. That means they were, becoming brighter and brighter, heavier and heavier, second by second. Here we can see, just you can imagine any lady or any woman who could be in this type of situation. Okay, so here we can see a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. Okay, so see here, wing of brightness against its blackened cheek, in the sense you can clearly see old pots, like old vessels, they have the darkness completely under them. So when you, even if you rub it, you cannot get rid of it. So in this case, that type of blackness, in the sense, the type of, it is not really about the pot. It is about the stains that are there in the society. It is about the treatment of these women, who are really treated just like slaves in their families, slaves in their houses. So even after this bright or huge fire, I think there won't be much change. So that is the meaning of this statement here. So she watched the flames hiss up. The flames were going high and beat against the cheap old pot. They were just, beating, in the sense they were against this old pot which was completely black, and the kind of brightness which was surrounded by all that black and cheek, in the sense the side of the pot, she can observe everything. She could also see herself going on the fire, and this was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been born to, the future she had been born into. And here we can see, after all this, she was the lady who has been sent to this house. She was the lady who was meant to be bonded to the husband. That means she has to be so respectable, so caring, so bothering about the husband. And also, she has seen her future, which is born in this house after her marriage. So here we can see it is just like another birthplace for any woman. Mother-in-law's house is just like another birthplace for every woman. So it is becoming not actually birthplace. at this case where we can see the poem, because we can see that the way she is treated, it won't be the same case if that is their daughter. So these are the things which were usually happening in those days, the time when this poem was written. So there were this type of harassments, okay, dowry harassments, this type of women harassments. Women were seen just like, kind of tools, who were just made use of in their houses. Women were treated so, badly. And here we can see woman has sacrificed everything: her family, her parents, her house, her freedom, and she has completely surrendered herself to this mother in law's house, which she believed as though it was another house for her. But we can clearly see that how all her dreams are just burning in the flames. Now, so when the kerosene was thrown, just a moment of surprise, a brilliant spark, it was the only choice that she had ever known. So after facing all these troubles, all these, troubles from the husband, trouble from the mother-in-law, the problems, the financial problems, again the restrictions to even buy some groceries, some vegetable and all. Here she can see no other future except pouring a kerosene on her body and lighting her up. So this was the only future that she can see. So it was the only choice for her. Here we can see it was the only choice. What was the only choice? So this was the only choice. What was that? The kerosene, pouring the kerosene on the body and lighting themselves up. So many women at this period of writing this poem, they were unable to bear anything. They were unable to bear the sufferings, the pains, the problems from the in-laws family. The both sister-in-laws, if they are there, they used to treat the woman like, animals. The husband the same is their party, and even the mother-in-law, father-in-law, women in those days, kind of tools who were just used like anything. Now the time is changed; it is completely different now. But the students who are studying this at this point of time, you must understand that society in those days is not just like today. Now you can come out, you can do whatever you want, you can achieve many things, you can do so many things. But in those days you'd be questioned for every single step that you make or you take. So those were the days. Even these daughter-in-laws were treated in such a way where they were not at all given any freedom even to spend some money to buy vegetables. So this was the only choice that was left for this lady, and she had ever never known that she would she would turn to be this type of victim of this social evils. Okay, so it is just like another torch blazing in the dark, another woman, we shield our faces from the heat. Okay, so here shield our faces from the heat, it can refer to the speaker who is there in this poem, who speaks about the problems of the woman. And also it could be again used for the women who are facing these type of social evils which are treated as heat here in this case. So another torch blazing in the dark, another woman, that means again one more day, one more, kind of woman who is having this type of suicide attempt, and this is just another woman, that's it. That means, remember, the meaning of another woman is not just one woman. There were many women who have sacrificed their lives in this kind of, for this kind of social evils. And also there are going to be many, another day, another woman. It is just like another day, another morning. It is just like another day and another woman who are continuously dying or who are continuously becoming the victims of these social evils. So these social evils were kind of the society degraders which were completely on the woman, where woman was not at all treated properly. So here we can see we shield our faces from the heat. So it can be the voice of women who are facing this type of struggle. It can be the society. This sentence can be also from the society who are just trying to hide their faces from that heat. So here we can see in the picture, there is this woman who just started to burn herself, and she was crying, she was shouting, might be. And here we can see the people just looking at her, and they are not even trying to attempt to help her, because it has become a kind of habit for them. Okay, so today she will die, some other day someone will die. It has become kind of common, just like we have our COVID. So this was the situation at that time in the olden days, where women treated so badly. So here we can see the glossary. Methi, it is fenugreek in English. Methi is both Hindi and Telugu also. White radish, it is a radish which is white in a white color and rounder finger-shaped vegetable, just like carrot, but carrot is an orange color, whereas radish is in white color. Extravagance is spending more, like unnecessary money, kind of uncontrolled way. This was the vocabulary or the word that was used in the beginning, where in the marketplace when this woman wanted to buy this radish. Okay, so this is it for this lesson, my dear viewers. And in the next video, we'll go through the next reading, that is the Never Nest. So please do share this video to your friends and classmates so that they could watch it and understand the poem. And see you all with the next video. Thank you for watching.